Always listening to Radio All for Peace.
You are listening to the only radio station with no borders, Radio All for Peace.
Radio All for Peace.
Hello, this is All for Peace Radio. My name is Stephanie. I did a radio segment last Wednesday. The theme was perspectives, and we were trying to come up with another theme for this week, but we're just going to call it Perspectives number 2 or episode 2. But today I have my friend Zane here, and we're going to just continue talking about, our perspectives and what we're experiencing living here in Israel. And so, Zane.
Hello everybody. My name is Zane. Stephanie and I, we met a month ago in Jerusalem.
And we just kept in touch.
Yeah, we've kept in touch. We're both working here it's been a month now, so we'll be here for about another month.
And you live in Tel Aviv?
I do. I live in Tel Aviv. I work for a organization called INSS, which is the Institute for National Security Studies, and it is formerly a part of Tel Aviv University. They're right next to Tel Aviv University, and I'm working over there, writing an article for them about the Islamic State and their ideology and its presence in the West Bank. Rising presence in the West Bank.
And that's why I thought it would be a good idea for you to be here so we can talk about, because we see each other every weekend. We kind of, we work during the week, and then we all get together and, as a group with our other friends, and we kind of
explore Israel, go to different cities, just try to do something every weekend and really make the most of our time here. We don't want to sit around. Stephanie is working here in Jerusalem. I'm working in Tel Aviv, and we meet with our friends and we go to different areas and just explore and really try to take in all this country has to offer.
Yeah, and just to reintroduce myself, I'm Stephanie. I am from Portland, Oregon, in the U.S. I'm here for an internship at Interfaith Encounter Association, implementing dialogue between Arabs and Jews. And so I do want to apologize. I thought I was going to do a radio segment last Thursday, but it turns out I'm only going to be here once a week, so I apologize for that. So we're going to start talking about, we're just going to continue talking about living in Israel and just how we process things. And so this morning, when we met up, we were talking about, Zane, you were talking about waking up here and kind of forgetting where you are and thinking about checking the weather to see if
But the weather's always the same. It's always sunny, always hot, and I was hoping this morning I wouldn't need my sunglasses. I come outside at 8 a.m., but the sun is so hot, and it's like that every morning, every day, so...
It was overcast maybe one day here.
Yeah, I think maybe one day it was cloudy.
Like around when we first got to Israel, I think it was.
Yeah, I in Tel Aviv I bike to work every morning. I bought a bike since I've been here. I got tired of taking the bus, so every morning I bike to work, and I get absolutely drenched in sweat by the time I get there because the sun is so hot, and it's not even 9 a.m. and that's just one thing, I guess, about the Middle East is it's always hot here. You never, and I guess what we were talking earlier, in America, we always like to be in the sun. And then here, it's like, okay, I want to get out of the sun. I mean, I can't stand it. You know?
We had a little bit of lunch in Aroma on the Hebrew University campus.
You're here,
a little bit ago, and we sat at a table that was in the sun, but we definitely moved the table away from the window into the shade. Yeah. And I was just thinking, I never do that. I always want to sit in the sun. I always want to feel those sun rays. But here, it's completely different. I want to get out of the sun. I don't want it shining on my face. It's I don't know. It's interesting. But so me and you have been living here for about a month now, and I think
a little over a month.
Yeah, things are starting to kick in, and just
we're here for another month. So we've just passed the midway point, and I think everyone, especially myself, I'm starting to miss home a lot. But at the same time, I really don't want to leave here because this place is so different from anything I've ever experienced in my life. And I really, I want to stay here, but at the same time, I miss home. I miss America. I don't know if I introduced myself earlier, but I'm from Virginia. I'm working on my bachelor's at George Mason University, and, I work in Washington, D.C. So, I really do miss, like, America, but, Israel is just so different and so unique, and everything is so great here. I mean, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, so two completely different cities, but it's really beautiful to, see the way of life here and what's going on. So, you,
No, I completely agree. So, you met Lizzie last week. She
was on there with you.
Yeah, she was on there with me. Hello, Lizzie. I hope you're listening.
Hey, Lizzie.
And, so yesterday morning we woke up and, I think we were both just missing home, and I think we kind of figured out that we were getting a little bit catty with each other.
You and Lizzie?
Things are just starting to set in that we're gonna be here for a while longer, and so we're, starting to pick certain days on when to go grocery shopping and like who should do it, because we want to save each other money and time. So we kind of we work on saving money with each other. But, so we tend to get the same things from the grocery store. We always get, the same thing to eat for lunch, like cucumbers, tomatoes, and cheese. And, I think yesterday I was watching her cut up the vegetables for packing our lunch, and I remember thinking, I don't think I want to eat that today.
I'm the same thing
tired
every
of
day.
eating it.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking, okay, well, when we go grocery shopping this Sunday, I think we should mix it up a little bit and try to figure something else out. But we want to keep it simple.
It's definitely an adjustment, having to live, in a different country, changing your diet, not having, the way of life. Everything's kind of in America, everything is there for you. You don't really have to worry about anything. And here, you really have to plan ahead. You have to make sure, you have everything that you need, and it's just different. And it's just a wonderful experience. I'm so happy that I came here, and, I'm experiencing, this country. So,
and especially, planning ahead. Remember last night we went and got food from near the Damascus Gate.
Yeah, we walked around the old city a little bit last night.
No one was eating yet.
Yes, no one was eating because Ramadan.
Yeah, we ordered food, and we were a little skeptical about
eating in front of
if we should
everybody.
eat or not. Yeah.
And I don't know if whoever's listening, but Damascus Gate is one of the most Muslim areas near the old city, and there's a very large population of Muslims, and everyone there is Muslim. So we were eating chicken on a bench, and we were kind of like, there's so many people that probably haven't eaten all day, and here we are like chowing down, and it's 7:00, and I guess they break the fast for the day when the sun goes down, and so we're very conscious of that. We don't want to offend anybody, but. It's tough when you're hungry, and you don't practice that.
We still kind of ate anyway. I don't think we got any dirty looks.
Yeah, I don't think it was too bad. The cat was the only thing really looking at us funky, so it was trying to get some chicken from us. But.
It was definitely interesting. I wonder what time they open the market for everybody to plan to get food for Ramadan. I don't even know how that works. I kind of want to people watch a little bit more around there and see how everything works. But so we are going to play a few songs, and we're going to come back and talk about what it's like to wait in line to get a bus ticket.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll start with the first song. It's called Ibelin. It's from the Kingdom of Heaven movie. It's off the soundtrack. And then we'll play another song for you. It's an Arabic song. It's called La Malim by Syed. I can't remember his name, but it's pretty catchy.
It's a really cool song.
Very popular. I've heard it a lot, played on the radio here. So we'll go ahead and let you guys listen to those, and then we'll come back. And
all right, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Always listening to Radio All for Peace.
You are listening to the only radio station with no borders, Radio All for Peace.
Radio All for Peace.
All right, welcome back.
Welcome back. And once again, Stephanie, I want to thank you for having me on the radio today. And before we talk about, getting in line and things and what we were going to talk about earlier, I just want to talk about briefly where I work at INSS. I wanted to say hi. If anyone is listening, I want to say hi to my boss, LeRon, who is a great guy. Really, really am happy that I'm working for him. He's so smart. He's really, really an impressive guy. And I'm also working with a girl named Deborah. I wanted to say hi to her. My roommates that I'm living with in Tel Aviv, Ryan and Nick, also work at INSS with me. I want to say hi to them. And Danielle, Noah, my buddy Av, who sits next to me in the library, and Yoel, who is actually on vacation right now, so I don't think he's listening. And then I want to say hi to Kobe, my man Kobe. He is the coolest dude I've ever met. He is absolutely awesome. The guy makes me smile no matter what. Like he walks in the room and he's like, Boker Tov, and he's just so funny. Love that guy. So INSS, go ahead.
Wait. Should we give a shout out to Harold again?
Yes, I want to give a shout out to one of my good friends that I met on this trip. I actually stayed with him in Jerusalem we stayed in the same hotel room, and immediately, right the second he walked in the door, I mean, we were laughing, and every night we would go to bed laughing, and he's just a great guy.
Yeah, I hope he's listening right now.
Yes.
But he's probably trapped in the Negev trying to get a bus to Jerusalem right now.
He is in the desert, kind of stuck right now. So, yeah. And INSS, it's like I said earlier, it's a think tank. It's a national security think tank right by Tel Aviv University. A lot of really high quality research comes out of INSS. They have a lot of really prominent people, some guys that have really, done a lot for Israel, and it's really an honor and a privilege to be working there and interning there right now. I'm really impressed with everybody. People there, they speak Hebrew and they speak English. Some speak Arabic as well, and it's a very English friendly place. And I've also tried to do my best to learn as much Hebrew as possible to, I don't know if it's my way of like saying thank you for everyone speaking English to me, but it's like I feel, I'm coming into their country and speaking a different language from my country, but, everyone says it's kind of like the middle language, between like Arabic and Hebrew, people speak English. So,
And you really like it there?
Yes, love it there. I think it's great. I love coming to work. I get there, in the morning, get off my bike, I'm sweaty. I stand underneath, the AC, and then I change, and I just, read articles all day. I've learned so much there. It's a different environment. No one tells you what to do. It's very laid back. There's no peace talks going on right now. And, INSS is a little laid back. Definitely it's the summer. But, you always have to find something to do, take the initiative to, show that you're working, you're actually being productive. So it's been a challenge, but it's, nothing crazy, and it's just been absolutely awesome. So, well,
speaking of, laid back environment. So we're going to talk about what it's like to be waiting in line trying to get a light rail ticket or a bus ticket.
Or buying food or doing anything in a line here, especially in Jerusalem.
So so I was telling you earlier that on my way to Israel a month ago from the States, I had a layover in Brussels to Ben Gurion Airport, and there was this Israeli couple who I had a great conversation with, and so when our zones got called to get on the plane to Tel Aviv, no one got in line, and I remember thinking, this is just crazy. Like, I do not want to get in front of anybody. I don't want to be rude. But then they said, no, come up here. Just try to find your place. Like, this is what, people do in Israel. Like, it's, everybody will let you through. It's not a big deal. And I thought, maybe, not having to wait in line, it's just, very laid back and no one cares. But then being here, I am experiencing I feel offended when people don't get in line behind me. You know, when people try to, you know, kind of crouch like in front of me
Or
and try to
cut in front of you,
like try to move your way in. I feel like they're kind of, you know, scheming and just trying,
imposing a little too much.
And just like today, we were getting a ticket. We were getting tickets
goodness.
for the light rail, and
I know, you know, I press the English button, and, you know, so the thing comes up in English, you know, I can read. And then, like, the guy next to me is, like, putting his finger on the screen, like, oh, you need to press this one. I'm like, hey, bud, I got it, you know? And then the lady behind us is like, oh, you need a ticket, press this one. And it's like, hey, like, you know, we're competent people here, like, we can do this. Like,
yeah,
just
you kind
give
of
us
put up
some
your hand, you're
space.
like, I'm fine, I got this.
And I was like, hey, it's okay, bud, like, you know, let me take care of this. And, last night we were in Jerusalem and
Getting dinner.
We spoke briefly earlier about like eating chicken, you know, on the bench, and it was, you know, people were still fasting. You know, there was like another hour left till the sun went down, so people weren't eating yet. And we were eating, but in line to get the food, people were just cutting in front of us, and it's like
just handing out they were holding out their money, cutting in
Oh, my
front of
goodness.
you. And the guy where you give
Was
him the
ignoring
payment,
us.
like he did not acknowledge us
Yeah.
at all until
No.
we said something.
Yeah, until I was finally like, okay, hey man, do you see me? Like, I'm right in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's like he was taking everyone else's money first and finally took our money.
Yeah.
And then he didn't even get our order right.
he didn't.
We ended up paying like a lot of money for
Well, we accidentally paid for 2 chickens because we thought we were going to get like a whole rotisserie chicken on, like with caramelized
Yeah.
onions on this pita, which looked
it was
amazing.
yeah, it looked really good.
But then right next to it in line, like it looked like this pan of, what was it, just roasted root vegetables and
delicious
and
food.
eggplant. But we didn't know that when we asked to get like that side of vegetables, I mean, it was he pulled out a whole other rotisserie
I
chicken
know.
from underneath, and we're like, oh,
we can't eat all this.
No, we just paid for 2 different chickens because
Yeah.
I was like, wow, 40-something shekels is pretty expensive for a side of root vegetables. That's almost just as much as the chicken that we
Right.
intended to buy. So we only ate the one chicken,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. So waiting in line is pretty stressful.
Yeah, you never know if you're ever going to make it to the front, and if you do, how many people are going to cut you on the way, you know, how many people are going to just kind of ignore you, I don't know. So
So
that's
is it-
definitely a different experience.
Is it like that for you, do you think, in living in Tel Aviv?
In Tel Aviv, well, Tel Aviv is just a completely different world from Jerusalem. You know, you're living in Jerusalem, and there's all these holy, sacred, religious sites, and Tel Aviv is just like, you know, there's one mosque, like, by Jaffa. I mean, there's probably more, but I think there's one big one by Jaffa, and, like, that's it. And,
I love Jaffa.
yeah, Jaffa is, like, the southern, it was the first part of Tel Aviv, and then, you know, they built more north after that and created the city, but Tel Aviv, it's just, I think, amazing how you can take a bus and in an hour and a half you can be from such a Western, secular, I mean, it's not, Tel Aviv
Less than that. It's less than
yeah,
that.
Tel Aviv isn't totally secular, but
It's a completely different world.
it is really a completely different world in Jerusalem. You know, you come to Jerusalem and it's just like a little bit of a shock. It's really just so different, and I think it's amazing how it's still the same place, but it feels like a completely different world. It's something so different, and I love Jerusalem. You know, if I could, I'd come back here next summer and work in Jerusalem just to see how different it is from Tel Aviv. Because Tel Aviv is great, you know, it's kind of like America, but you know, it's not. It's Israel, but Jerusalem, you know, it's just Jerusalem's a whole different ballgame. So, you know, you got to be on your toes. You never know what's going to happen.
There's a lot more staring in Jerusalem, I feel like. And I like how we are able to, because you live in Tel Aviv, I live in Jerusalem. We kind of, you know, talk about our experiences every single week and compare and, you know, just, you know, what it's like living in these completely like polar opposite places.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's, they definitely live in this bubble. I mean, there are people here in Jerusalem that don't even know what a pancake is. And I think Lizzie and I
you
kind
said-
of
you said
mentioned
a
this.
pancake?
A pancake. They don't know what pancakes are. And an hour away, they have pancakes on the menu. They
Right.
have Bloody Marys. They have mimosas
Right.
on the menu.
Yeah.
Here it's just, I mean, it's, I mean, it baffles
So
me.
different.
Yeah,
It's amazing. It
but
really
it's
is.
amazing. Yes, it's crazy. I mean, is there some kind of, what is it called, like a time warp, the thing that they have in Stargate SG-1?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna nerd out for a second. I feel like, I mean, maybe we go through something like that on the way that, like, to and from.
But like, think about, like, you know, you're from Portland, I'm
Mm-hmm.
from the East Coast, Virginia, and I could, you know, go to the West Coast from the East Coast, and that's farther away than Jerusalem is from Tel Aviv, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, there's really no big difference, you know, and it's still the same country, and like, you know, Israel and Jerusalem are part of, you know, they're both in Israel, so.
And you also live in an apartment. I live with a host family.
Yeah, in Tel Aviv, I live in an apartment with the guys I mentioned earlier that work with me at INSS, Ryan and Nick, my roommates. Yeah, I live with them. Mm-hmm. We live in a small little apartment, number 14 on Dizengoff Street.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the center of like one of the bigger party streets in Tel Aviv. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Stephanie,
I live in the Christian Quarter.
Right.
In the old city.
So different.
Yeah, and we, you know, Lizzie and I, we share a room, we share a kitchen and a bathroom away from the family. But, I mean, eating dinner with them every single night, which is, I mean, that's something you don't do because you don't have a host family. So
We're fending for ourselves,
you
you
kind
know?
of fend for yourselves.
Yeah.
And so your experience is completely different. You're not really, I mean, you're kind of thrown into the situation, like, or just, you know, in Tel Aviv, but you're not really. I mean, if you were to hang out with just natives there, you know, out for dinner or something like that. Are you making a lot of friends there?
Yeah, it's like if I go out and you hang out and people speak English, you know, it's very Western, and, you know, here in Jerusalem, it's very different. People, you never know who you're going to meet. You have to watch what you say here.
A lot more people speak English in Tel Aviv.
Yes, Tel Aviv, very English friendly. You really have, if you don't speak any Hebrew at all, you have no problem, you know, talking, ordering anything. All the, you know, menus are in English, but here it's just so, I just think the change in that one little drive, you know, you don't really feel it until you get off the bus, but
you can walk around in a bathing suit in Tel Aviv.
Once you get off the bus, like yesterday, I get off the bus and there's guys with, you know, huge rifles, and there's none of that in Tel Aviv. I mean, there's no security. I mean, there's like police cars and stuff, but like here in Jerusalem, there are like border police, there are soldiers, the army. I mean, there is so much security here, and especially by Damascus Gate, where we were eating last night, is a big. There's like, you know, we were walking around and there's those guys, you know, they're just standing around. The guy's younger than I am with, you know, guns, huge guns. So
I was on the light rail Monday morning on the way to work, and there was a guy sitting right across from me holding a rifle. I mean, his fingers.
You took a picture of it, right?
Yeah, I took a picture of it and I posted it on Facebook, but he looked really tired. He wore just regular clothes. He didn't have any, you know, idea of clothes or anything.
He was just wearing like a white t-shirt and just jeans.
Yeah, just like an old rifle. I don't know what kind of gun it was. Could you tell what kind of gun that was? But
it looked,
he had
like an M16 or something, like an M4.
Like, and he was hurt. He had like bandages over a couple of his fingers.
He looked pretty messed up.
Yeah, and I sat right across from him.
He was like right in front. He had to move his legs so y'all legs wouldn't touch. Like that's how close you guys were. And he was, I think, from what I saw, you know, the gun was loaded. I mean,
there was a lady that wanted to sit next to me, and so I made her sit kind of where the rifle was aiming because I just didn't feel comfortable sitting there. So she was sitting adjacent from him. I was sitting right across from him. And you know, the entire time I wasn't really. I like to listen to music on the way to and from work. I mean, who doesn't like to do that?
Kind of zone out a little bit, get a little mental vacation on the way to work.
Right, but instead of listening to Chelsea Wolfe Flatlands, I just thought about, what did he do? Like what is he doing today? Did he come back from, you know, like a
mission or who knows,
doing like shooting paintballs or something? I mean, what was he doing? Was it for fun? I mean, is he exhausted because, you know, he was playing a game, or, you know, but I mean, I don't really know how to.
This is daily life here. You know, you see this and that's routine. People, you know, have guns here, and that's just the way this place is.
Or even going out late at night. I mean, there are people younger than us, 18 years old, that have a rifle
Yeah.
attached to them,
With
like
the-
velcroed to them, like around their body, and just smoking hookah right next to us. Like
Yeah.
it's no big deal.
And in Tel Aviv, you don't see that at all.
You don't.
Nothing. You don't see guns. You don't see people. I mean, there's a couple security guards with guns, but I don't know if that's the police or if that's soldiers. But, you know, really here in Jerusalem, that is one of the biggest things you see is just the presence of, like, security. And it's so different.
Interesting.
So, yeah, just Tel Aviv's great, but I think Jerusalem just draws me based, just the way it is, the difference in the people that live here, and it's really special to see. Like the old city is just so beautiful and so different. And what remember last night we bought like a potato French fry spiral thing. All right, so get this. We bought this thing. It was like 5 shekels. It was so good.
We were in the old city. Were we in the Christian Quarter?
We were heading up toward. This
the
was
Western
like
Wall.
very Arab. Like we had just we just came back from the Western Wall, and we were heading towards out of the old city to leave Damascus Gate, and we're like probably in the very Arab, and we're standing by the wall eating this French fry thing.
Yeah, it's on a stick, but they show you, they do it right in front of you. They take the potato and then they put it on this, I think I'm sure it's a potato peeler, but I think, anyway, they take this potato peeler and it cuts it into spirals, and then they put it on, the stick, and it looks like
it's kind of like decorative, but it's really good.
And then they fry it, and then they top it with like salt and pepper or something.
Yeah, but what happened is we're standing there eating it, and we're breaking off pieces, and then all of a sudden, like, Stephanie's face exploded. Like, this kid took a handful of these little like popper things where
what did you call them last night?
They're like called little poppers. Like you throw one at the ground and it explodes. It doesn't really do anything, but it makes a loud like snap pop, and it kind of has a little spark.
But this kid threw them at the wall.
This kid was like facing the other way. He was maybe 6 feet away from us on the left, and we were all leaning against a wall, and he like chucked them behind his head, and they all hit like Stephanie right in the face, and like at first we had no idea what
directly
happened.
hit me in the face, but it hit the wall, and I could feel it on my face, and it made my ear ring.
I guess from my point of view, it looked like they
while.
like hit you in the face.
I was a little,
That was a little freaky, and like what can I do? Like that little kid, like I saw him in his hand before he threw them, and I didn't think he was gonna throw them at us. But
remember what we were talking about after that, on what our initial reaction was right after that happened, and I felt a little guilty for thinking the things that I thought, because
you thought
right
it was
after
someone
it
our
happened,
age?
I thought it was completely intentional, and I thought it was someone who was around our age, like a teenager, someone like in their younger 20s or something like that who did it, and I felt really guilty for thinking that. I automatically thought that it was just a little malicious, but
it definitely was. I mean, that kid definitely did it on purpose.
I mean, he's just a kid, though.
Yeah.
So.
But like, there's nothing we could do.
There's nothing we could do.
I gave him like the stinky eye, and he like looked at me,
Yeah.
and he was like,
We're just
kind of
like,
growled at me. It looks like
we're just gonna eat this potato thing.
We're just gonna walk away.
While we're walking,
Yeah,
so
see
to
ya.
prevent something like that from happening again. So we're gonna go to a small break. We're gonna do another few songs.
Yep. The first song we'll play for you is Eretz Ahuva. It's a song. It's in Hebrew, and then it's pretty catchy. And then the next song is Teenage Crime. I think you guys will enjoy both of those. And before we go, real quick, I just want to say, if my mom's listening, I want to say hi, Mom. I love you. And my stepdad, my dad, I love you guys. So I just want to say hello.
استمع وصدق تبشير تامين
Radio All for Peace.
אתם מאזינים לרדיו כל השלום, רדיו ללא גבולות.
Welcome back to All for Peace Radio. My name is Stephanie, and this is Zane.
Hello.
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 So we are going to talk about our weekend in Bethlehem.
Yes,
From
Bethlehem.
last weekend. That was pretty interesting, wasn't
What an
it?
experience.
It was an experience.
Wow.
So we us and our friends, we visited some other friends that live in a refugee camp in Bethlehem, which was pretty interesting. And it was a cozy apartment.
It was very nice.
Couches, comfy chairs everywhere. They had a really great back porch that overlooked.
Nice and relaxing out there.
It was great. We smoked hookah. We, the food is, it's so good, and it's a little bit cheaper there, and
everyone's so hospitable, very nice.
Very nice.
It's just such a different environment from, like, I guess we were talking earlier, you know, like Tel Aviv is, I guess, on one side. You have Bethlehem completely on the other side of Tel Aviv, like so different. And then, you know, we were talking earlier, like Jerusalem and Tel Aviv are so different, but I mean, if you think about it, Tel Aviv and Bethlehem are so different, and then Jerusalem is even so different from Bethlehem and Tel Aviv.
Oh, like if you were to put it like on a spectrum
you can
that
kind
we're
of,
talking about?
You can kind of put, you know, Jerusalem in the middle, and Bethlehem on the right, and Tel Aviv on the far left.
Absolutely.
I mean, and they kind of, if you put them together, maybe you get something like Jerusalem.
Yeah, maybe. Absolutely.
You know? So we had been at Masada.
Oh yeah, we also so we did that the day before we arrived to Bethlehem. We took that
was an amazing experience.
We took a tour. We went to we took a bus at 3 a.m.
Yes, our bus driver. We can give a shout out to him, Alon Kruger. Alone, yeah, he was great. That guy was the man.
Best dude. It's his hair too. It just
his hair, his attitude, the way he
talked. It goes with his personality, and his kids were so cute. He looks like the best dad. Did you see him when we went to the Ian Getty?
He's coming out with a book. Anyone listening, he's coming out with a book called Dangerous Curves. Y'all should all check it out. His website is alon2travel.com, I believe. So
we should write him a really nice email. I already miss him.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. So keep going.
So the tour. So we did the Masada tour. So we took a bus at 3 a.m. Then we
hadn't slept at all.
We didn't sleep at all.
Too excited.
Yeah, we went to a party somewhere in West Jerusalem. Before that, we had food. We smoked hookah. Then we went
to the Abraham Hostel. Got on the bus,
and then we drove for like maybe an hour.
Hour and 40 minutes. I remember we left at 3 a.m. We got to Masada at 4:40 a.m.
So then maybe we did sleep a little bit.
We tried. That was a really
stuffy.
bumpy ride.
Yeah,
it was hot.
Crazy.
I think he had
sticky.
He thought he had the AC on, but my man did not have the AC on.
I don't think he did. But so, and they had like that creepy blue light. It was
and the song came on at like 4:30 to like wake everybody up. It felt like we were in a weird dream. Like everyone's like so tired and exhausted, and there's like this crazy song like saying "This is the morning to my world" or something. It was crazy. And then he's like so full of energy, and we're just like, oh.
He was cracking jokes too. I think we were having. He's like, I know you guys are all sleeping, and you know, I just want to let you know that I'm not sleeping, and we're like, I hope you're not sleeping because you're driving.
And he actually was the first time that he took his kids up to Masada in the Sunrise Tour, because the tour we took is called the Sunrise Tour. You know, you get to Masada and you hike up and you make it up there before the sun comes over the mountains on the Jordanian side of the Dead Sea, which is. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. Getting up there is like such a challenge. It takes about 45 minutes if you just keep moving. I know we were struggling. I mean, it was tough.
It was fine, but you know, my first time going up Masada, which was last summer.
Yeah.
I had to take a few breaks last summer. I don't really remember I don't think I did anything crazy the night before either. I think we just camped in the desert and got up early and went. But I think I don't know how I didn't have to take a break this time, because I think I had, you know, maybe 2 beers or something. So I mean, I'm sure I had a little bit of dehydration. Anyway, I think it was just because of the people I was with. I mean, me and Harold were a really nice trio. Oh, do you remember? Hey, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
We thought you were gonna beat us up Masada because you booked it up there. You started running.
Slow and steady wins the race. Nick started. He took off. I think we were all a little nervous. We saw the sky was starting to get pink, and we were like, oh,
we were worried we were gonna miss it, but we didn't. We actually got there maybe 10 or 15 minutes before the sun started coming up, so it was great. Perfect timing. We took some really good pictures.
Hung out for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, there it comes. It's amazing. It's really hard. You can't really describe it. You just get something. I know a lot of people have seen it, but for those that haven't, it is just absolutely beyond words. It is breathtaking. It's so gorgeous.
It's the lowest place on the face of the earth. I
mean, down there in the Dead Sea is the lowest point on Earth, 4,000. I don't know how many feet below sea level.
I don't know.
I remember Alon was telling us, sorry, I should have paid better attention when you told me, but
sorry, Alon.
Yeah. He's probably not even listening, but
just send him the link. So after that, we went to the Ian-Getty. And that was really great.
Ian-Getty.
We played in this really cool waterfall
that we weren't actually supposed to go into, but
But
I think
there were other
everyone
people
does.
there, so
we weren't the first ones in.
But the waterfall, the water hit the ground so hard that when we went under the waterfall, it was hitting our skin. It hurt.
Yeah, it was.
But
it was like
worth
getting
it.
punched in the back,
Yeah.
like on your shoulders.
Yeah, but it was a really,
cool.
really good time.
There were those little rodent things. What were those? Do you remember those little thingies?
They look like
little big. They look like
miniature
big rats.
capybaras or
Yeah.
something. But they were all over the place, and they were sleeping on the stairs that we were
They were
walking
kind of
up.
sassy. They like had
They
attitudes.
didn't care.
Yeah.
They were so cute. I think Kelly, you have some really good footage of them hanging out in some places. But then, okay, so after that,
After Ian-Getty, we went to the Dead Sea.
we went to the Dead Sea.
That was your second time?
That was my
That was
second
your
time.
second time in the Dead Sea, my first time, and I got a little burnt, but
Yeah, my friend Nicole and we tried to swim out to Jordan. But then we were, cause we thought, being in the Dead Sea and swimming to Jordan, you're thinking, okay, it's the Dead Sea.
Can't drown.
There's no life in the sea, so you can't be eaten by anything. And if you I'm thinking, we can't drown because you're floating.
You literally cannot go under the water. I mean, you can, but you won't stay.
Yeah, I heard some people have died in the Dead Sea. I'm not
Maybe.
sure. I don't know. But but then, our hearts were kind of set on, doggy paddling to Jordan. But then we were thinking, well, maybe
doesn't
there's a
seem
Loch
too
Ness
far away.
monster in here. And so then we just started swimming back.
Yeah, we had to get back on the bus, and then we got back to Jerusalem. So, we started this tour at 3 a.m. We're back in Jerusalem by between 1 and 2 p.m. And it felt like it's been a day, And then we still have to make it to Bethlehem, and it was, it was Ramadan.
Yeah,
And,
so
oh my
that was
goodness.
a complete crap show.
Yeah, so we tried to get on a bus 231 to take us to Bethlehem, and there were so many people coming
Wait,
back
what time
from...
was this too? This was around...
This was right around
just
2 p.m.
Was it 2 p.m.?
Oh, no, it was maybe around 3.
Maybe, I want to say
4?
about 4
4?
or something. There were so many people
Coming back from prayer.
coming back that it wasn't even almost impossible. It was impossible to get on that bus. There were so many people there. There were so many people shoving.
Pushing, shoving.
No,
Can't breathe inside these people. Like, there's so many
no
people.
personal space was. It felt dangerous because there were personal.
I was scared, like, the group. There was 4 of us. It was Harold, Nicole, Harold, Kelly, Stephanie, and I was afraid we were going to get separated. And, there's no way we're going to be able to find each other. Like, our phones sometimes don't work here.
We were all grouchy because we've
been up when
no
no
sleep.
one's slept.
We didn't even remember like the last time we got sleep. I don't even
And
know
we're
how we did
dehydrated,
that. Felt like a
you know.
superhero after that. But so we couldn't get a bus.
So we had to go back to the hotel that we stayed at.
The Christmas hotel is this awesome hotel.
Yeah. Can we give a shout out to the Christmas Hotel?
You guys are amazing.
If anyone is in Jerusalem and they need a place to stay,
Go to the Christmas
Hotel.
Hotel.
Is so awesome. They're
They're
wonderful
so accommodating.
people there. My man David works in the kitchen. He is an amazing man. And there's Harut who works at the front. And then there's Lydia. She's a great woman. She works at the front as well.
Is she the one who's getting married in a month?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, Lydia, congratulations to you.
I hope you're listening to this.
And
So we went to the Christmas Hotel because we knew people there, and we knew that they would hook us up with a taxi.
yeah, they called an older guy. I think did he work there? Or?
I don't think that older guy worked there, but so no
was
other taxi
friends.
service would take us because of the traffic
all the
due to
roads were
Ramadan. We didn't know how we were going to get out of there to Bethlehem.
Yeah, it seemed like a nightmare. All the roads are closed. You have police standing in the roads, telling people, you can't come
Smoldering
down
hot.
here.
It was so hot.
Oh, the sun was beating on us. We're dehydrated. So we just went to we got a taxi, but what happened was,
This guy,
This
this
old
old
guy's son.
guy at the counter, he just called his son. He's like, let me call someone. And he called his son. He wasn't even a taxi driver.
it was just his personal car, and he just took us to Bethlehem out of
came.
being a nice guy.
And it was kind of a long trip because of all the traffic. I felt, I think it was kind of a long trip because, we did fall
we couldn't
asleep.
we couldn't even get through
time-consuming.
an intersection. I
Yeah.
mean, at one point, because the police are yelling at people, you can't go through, and people can't back up because everyone's bumper to bumper, and it was really stressful. Then we crossed through a checkpoint, and
And he didn't even charge us a rate.
Yeah, so when we crossed through the checkpoint, I mean, we didn't even have to get out of the car, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got an Israeli license plate, so we all look
Super
American
cool
in the
guy.
back. So
cool. I think he was part Russian.
yeah, and
His wife is Russian.
Amin.
Yeah.
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 That was the name of the guy who took us. His name was Amin.
Yeah. So we got out, and then we
we're in
finally got
Bethlehem.
to our place in Bethlehem.
now I
It was
guess
really
we're-
great. And then we slept for like 15 hours.
Yeah, and then the next day the group went out to go to the church, the Nativity Church, and we walked through the refugee camp that the apartment's in. And then Stephanie and I came back to get our stuff. We're gonna head back to Jerusalem a little bit earlier than the rest of the group, and we got the key stuck in the door.
I thought you were gonna bring that up.
Oh,
yeah,
my
that
goodness.
was 40 minutes of
Oh, nightmare! That was another nightmare.
comedy and just.
And then the little girl was trying to help us.
It was a
and-
huge letdown. But
Yeah.
so okay, we got the key stuck. Okay, and then should I just confess now?
I told Harold what happened.
You told
Yeah.
Harold exactly
Yeah,
what
I
happened.
kicked
Okay,
the
I'm
key
sorry.
and-
But Harold, it was my idea for Zane to kick in the key. Okay, he took his foot and he just jammed the key in.
But all that
to the-
happened is the key broke in half.
It broke. Okay, well, it didn't completely break in half until I took a wrench and tried to twist it in and out.
Yeah.
So that was. But anyway, so Harold got it fixed for real cheap. He got a good deal on it.
New door. Harold, yeah, we owe you 30 shekels, okay? So
Oh, and
don't
those
worry,
kids,
it's coming your way.
that little girl and that boy that tried to help us with the door.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't remember what your names are, but you guys were great.
Yeah, she was such a sweetheart. She was trying to help us the whole time.
And
she
the
was,
and the guy who gave us the tools.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes, shukran. Thank you.
Shukran. Do you remember when you hopped over that fence to try to get
Oh
back
yeah,
to the
and then I was
balcony?
like, maybe I can climb up to the third floor balcony, but the only way for me to get there was to hop a security fence that was maybe 10 feet tall. So and there's like razor sharp, rusty barbed wire, and I somehow managed to unscathed climbed over this thing and jumped into the field. And these two little kids saw me, and they ran up to the fence as I was on the top, and they were like, "Hi, hi, hi," and I was like, "Hey, like I'm, climbing this fence," and I jumped down, and they were like, "Bye, bye," and I was like, "Man, these kids look like they're waving me off, like, I'm about to go like run into a minefield." This place was so empty, but there was so much trash. There were like mounds of dirt. It was pretty freaky. I realized I couldn't climb up to the balcony when I got there, but when I came back, Stephanie had opened the door. So I was so relieved.
I don't know how it happened. I took the wrench and I pushed it in.
The little vice grip pliers, yeah.
I pushed the key in. Well, what was left in the door,
The part
and
that
it
was
somehow
still stuck.
turned. I don't know what happened, but I got in, and then when we got into the apartment, and we were trying to pull it out with all of our might. At that time there were kids playing around by our door, and then there was an adult. I think it was the next door neighbor. And they were just kind of hanging out, like they probably thought, "Oh, these Americans got a key stuck in the
Yeah,
door."
look, they
And
just broke this door.
yeah, but the little girl said, when we were saying bye, she goes, "Friend, friend," and I was like, "Yeah,
Yes,
friend,"
friend.
and it was so cute. But that was a really good adventure that we had. So. I know
Definitely
you wanted
experience.
to mention, you were telling me about you've had dinner with this guy in Jaffa a few times.
He will remain nameless, but there's a gentleman I've met who's been very kind to me while I've been in Israel. He's a work acquaintance, and we've had dinner a few times, and he's just so knowledgeable, the things that he's been through. I just can't even, I wish I could just get into his brain and kind of see the way he thinks about things, and it's really amazing when you can be with someone and spend time with someone who's done so much with their life and really been through some experiences that you'll never go through. I mean, things that I'll never be able to say I've been through. And, but here he is sitting in front of me having dinner with me. And here I am, like, just this kid from America, and it's like, I just feel like really privileged to be, speaking and getting insight and advice from somebody. And, he told me, he's like, Israel has been great for you, Zane, but, it's not going to answer any of your questions. It's only going to prompt you to ask more. You were looking for answers, but all you're going to find is you will just have more questions. And he said something very, very interesting to me, during dinner. He said, when I look behind you, Zane, all I see, I see, we're sitting here at dinner. I look behind you and I see, an old man drinking water, and I see a couple at a table having dinner. I see some chairs, a table, and then he asked me, he's like, Zane, now look behind me and what do you see? And I said, I see a window, I see a waiter, like a countertop. And he's like, well, who's right? And the thing is, we're both right. And no one's wrong. And maybe, we can relate that to the conflict here. I mean, both sides think they're right. No one's going to say that they're wrong ever. And until, a compromise can be reached, we'll see what happens. But,
that's very interesting.
Yeah, it just was a really cool way to kind of put it in perspective.
Well, you even said that when you said that same thing last night when we went to the Western Wall.
Yeah.
When we saw those mosques.
Yeah, so you can see the Western Wall.
Right next to the mosques.
They're the prayer, the green lights on the wazem, or I think they're called wazems, which have the loudspeakers that do the prayer call. So, you see the Western Wall, but then there's mosques right behind it, and it's just, everything is so close and so intertwined here, but we'll leave it at that. And
yeah, thank you so much for coming, Zane.
Stephanie, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I want to make, before we wrap up, I want to make a personal shout out to my family. Dad, I love you so much. My brothers, I love you. And most of all, my friends from back home in Portland. I hope you're listening to this, and I can't wait to get back to you in a month. I think about you all the time, but I can't wait to share all of my experiences with you. But we're going to leave you with a really cool song by Michael Jackson.
Called Black or White.
So I will see you, I will talk to you next Wednesday at noon. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Radio All for Peace.